My fiance, male 31, proposed to me, female 28, days ago. Unfortunately, he has this habit of joking around and pulling pranks occasionally. It bothers me sometimes, but I try to have patience. His family wanted to throw us an engagement party at a restaurant. I heard his mom talk about how expensive the place was and how much they paid for reservations. So this was a massive deal for them. My fiance and I were getting ready. I noticed my engagement ring wasn't where I left it before I entered the shower. I freaked out and looked for it everywhere. Finally, I asked my fiance and he said he didn't see it. Again, I freaked out and was running out of time for the party. He sat there watching me, almost losing my mind trying to find it, to the point where I started crying because without the ring, I couldn't show up to the party. I kept thinking about what his family would say and how they'd think I was irresponsible to lose this somewhat expensive ring. I gave up looking and sat down and just cried in frustration. The next thing I knew, my fiance was standing in front of me laughing, with his hand extended to me with the ring. I asked where he found it, and he could barely speak, and said that he had hid it last minute before the party as a prank. I was in shock. He casually told me to get ready so we could get there in time, but I just blew up on him and started yelling, saying he hid the ring. He made me freak out for 2 hours and almost made me miss the party. He was like, "Relax, it was a prank, okay? Don't make a big deal out of it and ruin the evening." I told him I wasn't going to the party, and that if his family asked, I would tell them it was because he had hidden my ring. He freaked out and started begging me to let it go and just go with him, but I refused and went into the bedroom, took my medication, and stayed there. He lost it and kept saying that I blew this out of proportion, ruined my party, cost his family money, and disrespected them by not attending. His family found out and they were mad at him, but also me for choosing not to attend and getting over it. But I was in a horrible state emotionally and couldn't handle being in a public place after what happened. Am I the idiot for choosing not to go after he hit the ring? Relax, it was a prank, okay? Don't make a big deal out of it and ruin the evening. This right here is gaslighting. A prank that results in a loved one's emotional and physical panic for hours is not funny, not okay. You didn't make a big deal out of it. It is a big deal that he likes to be cruel and finds it amusing to see you suffer. As someone who loves to prank, why did he not give it back when he saw she was upset? Let alone for 2 hours. Not to mention that it's just an awful prank to begin with. Any idiot would understand that almost no one finds someone hiding precious things and acting like they're lost funny. Clearly, OP's fiance doesn't possess 2 brain cells to rub together to figure that out. Wait for the wedding, when he thinks it's funny to make fun of you during the toast. When I was 15, I yelled at my 17-year-old sister's 20-year-old boyfriend because he made her cry by pulling a prank and then laughed about it. His response? It was a joke. I'm so hurt and offended. My sister was angry at me for hurting his feelings. 30 years later, after lots of therapy and on her 3rd but finally happy marriage, she tells me out of nowhere that I was right and that he was emotionally immature, emotionally abusive, and a jerk. He watched you cry and he thought it was funny. He thought your distress was entertaining. Info: why would you marry someone who thinks making you cry is funny? I would never put that ring on ever again. He ruined everything, but you dodged a bullet at the end of the day. He doesn't deserve you. First, some important info. I, 30 female, have been married to my husband, 34, for 8 years. We live in a culture where you never combine your finances after marriage. Some do, but they're the exception to the rule. Also, in the event of a divorce, there's nothing like common property or anything like that. You keep what you bought and anything that has your name on it. We met while studying, graduated the same year, and have the same primary income. I do some freelance work. We're so in tune with everything except how to spend money. He likes to travel while I'm a homebody. Since the first day of marriage, I propose that we share the expenses, rent, utilities, groceries, cleaning lady, equally, even though culturally the man is responsible for all of them. Then we should have a savings account to save for a house. He didn't want to save for a house. He said that his money is better spent on experiences. And anyway, there's nothing wrong with renting until we're in our 50s. Then we can buy a house. In the end, we agreed to have a shared account for expenses. then whatever is left is ours to do with what we want. He tends to take at least 2 weekend trips with his friends, stay in expensive hotels, go to concerts. Also, even though I cook almost every meal at our home, he usually just orders out for lunch or dinner. I also go on weekend trips with my friends, but they're more day trips to the beach, hiking in the mountains, scuba diving. Each trip costs less than a tenth of what his travels do. Well, I've been saving for all of these 8 years, and now I'm about to close on a small apartment and pay it in full. No interest or monthly payments. The plan is to live there, save what I'm used to, and what I used to spend on rent, buy a bigger house and rent this apartment for extra income. And now he wants me to add his name to the deed. I flat out told him no. He didn't want to save. He didn't put a cent towards the house, so his name does not go on the deed. I also told him that I plan to buy a bigger house, and now that he doesn't have to pay rent, he can save and put his share towards the next house. Then he can have his name on the deed of the house. Well, he called me an idiot, said that this is not what it meant to be married, and took some days off to go on a trip to cool off. I don't think I'm an idiot, but I also tend to be stubborn regarding what I perceive as financial responsibility. So, am I the idiot? P.S. I am not a miser. I still paid for dates, bought him gifts just because I saw something he might like, went on one expensive trip a year with him, usually abroad, etc. I just saved a lot too. Oh, not the idiot. When he pays half, he can own half. And if he's not on board with saving for a house with you, you need to charge him rent for living in your apartment. Alternatively, him living rent-free in your apartment could be paid for by him bringing you on some of his trips on his dime, if you're interested. For the love of God, do not put his name on the deeds. He put zero towards it, and you're even offering him rent-free accommodations so he can save towards the bigger house. Yet he calls you an idiot? You guys need a proper sit-down to discuss finances, as this isn't acceptable in the slightest. If he wants to blow all his money on experiences, that's fine, but he doesn't get the security of property in return. I already thought he checked out. Multiple trips away each weekend a month with friends? Basically, he wants all the expensive trips that he pays for, and he wants you to save up and buy him an apartment with no drain on his resources. That's a big red flag. Guess who'll be funding their retirement too, because he sure doesn't plan on saving a dime. Mostly, I think you should divorce him. Separate finances are great, but he wants his money for himself, and he wants your money for himself. So I think you should seriously consider having not just separate finances, but separate lives. Don't be stupid. You worked hard for what you have. Keep what's yours, yours. This all happened a few months ago, but my mom keeps bringing it up. So I'm wondering if I did something wrong. My girlfriend, Nadia, and I have been together for almost 4 years. Nadia has a younger daughter from a past relationship. She's a wonderful mother, who I'm so lucky to have met. I'm so grateful I get to be in her and her daughter's life. My mom hates Nadia. My mom believes that Nadia forced me to give up my life early to, quote, raise an illegitimate child. My mom constantly shames Nadia for giving birth very young and always tells her that she's wasting my youth. Despite never meeting my daughter, my mom believes Nadia is a terrible mother and a gold digger. Obviously, Nadia and I rarely speak to my mother. A few weeks ago, my daughter fell ill and had to be hospitalized and taken in for surgery. She's all right now, but at the time, Nadia and I were scared and extremely worried. When I found out that my daughter was in the hospital, I immediately drove to the hospital with my sister. Sometime during the drive, my sister, who has an on and off relationship with my mother, called my mom and told her about the situation. I was too concerned and panicked that I didn't really register what my sister was doing at the time. My mom sat Nadia and me at the hospital while we were anxiously waiting for our daughter to get out of surgery and gave the both of us a hug. I didn't really care who was with us at the time, as I was too nervous and jittery. My mom started to ask Nadia about what happened, how she ended up at the hospital, etc. She seemed very concerned for our daughter, even calling her her granddaughter. My mom said, "This wouldn't have happened if you were a capable mother," or "This has never happened to any of my 4 children." She was speaking softly, and her tone was almost nonchalant, so I barely registered what she was saying at first. Instead of listening to her anymore, I stood up and asked her to screw off. She looked offended, but I told her I never wanted to see her again. She left, clearly annoyed. Later on, my sister told me that I came off very harsh. I didn't allow my mom to visit our daughter while recovering at home or in the hospital. I didn't want to deal with all her drama. My sister told me that I was being unfair to my mom, who wanted to see her grandchild, and that I was being inconsiderate of her feelings. Am I the idiot? Your mom called this kid an illegitimate child and hates her, but now she wants to pretend that she's the grandmother of the year? Your mother's manipulative and verbally abusive. Heck no, not the idiot. Time to go no contact with your mother. If she can't keep a civil tongue, then there's no reason she needs to be in your family's life. I have a horrible feeling if she even got the slightest bit of information to use, she could go on a campaign to ruin Nadia to get rid of her by ripping her life apart as a neglectful mother. Like, if I can mess up her life, then she'll leave, and my boy will be saved. And she doesn't care at all that she's blowing up her relationship with her son. She probably thinks everything will just go back to normal once she's gone, and the OP will get over it. And it's funny how your mom's feelings matter more. Like, yours and Nadia's don't even matter. Keep your eyes on your sister. She knows what your relationship is like with your mother regarding Nadia and your daughter. So why did she think it was a good idea to tell her? But she doesn't like either of them from what you've written. Your mom is the idiot for her behavior before this, and still is. But your sister's the biggest idiot. She invited drama where it wasn't welcome or needed. Sister's behavior throughout this incident strongly suggests that she's on her mother's side against your partner and your child. While it's possible to sympathize with a daughter trying to navigate a difficult maternal relationship, she likewise needs to be kept at arm's length as long as she's in this phase of it. I, male 33, have a close friend named Tom, male 34. He married his wife Lauren, 32, days ago. Unfortunately, my wife Hannah, 30, has never gotten along with Lauren. There's no reason, but Hannah claims Lauren is full of herself and has fake beauty. I tried to get to the bottom of why they don't get along, but to no avail. When Hannah and I attended the engagement party, she and Lauren ended up getting into an argument because Hannah called Lauren controlling, when Lauren jokingly said that she picked Tom's suit for the occasion. We had to leave early, but Tom understood the situation. We were invited to the wedding, and Hannah casually showed me a white dress she said she'd wear. I snapped and told her that this dress was off limits, but she threw a fit, saying I get zero say in what she would wear. I told her that if she was wearing this dress, then I won't take her with me to the wedding, period. She sulked, but then showed me a blue dress she decided to wear to the wedding. I waited for her in the car while she was getting ready. She wore her blue dress like she said, and had a jacket covering her upper body. As I was driving, I brought up the white dress issue and why I didn't agree with it, seeing that it's not acceptable to wear white if you're not the bride. But she smiled and said that she would prove to me that it was perfectly all right to do that. I was puzzled. I looked at her and caught a glimpse of a white strap on her shoulder. I asked if she was wearing the white dress underneath the blue dress, and she denied it. I stopped the car and told her to take off her jacket. She refused, but I insisted. She took it off, and parts of the white dress were showing underneath the blue dress. She was planning on taking off the blue dress when she got there. I lost it and told her to get out of the car. She started arguing, but I didn't let her finish. I just told her that it was pathetic and repeatedly told her to get the heck out. She got out crying, and I ended up going to the wedding alone, and she was waiting for me at home. When I got home, she started arguing again, calling me an idiot for kicking her out of the car, making her miss the wedding, and trying to control what she wore. It got too much. I had to go upstairs and stay there. It's been days and she's been giving me the silent treatment, saying that I cared more about Lauren's feelings than hers to treat her the way I did. Am I the idiot? I'm always against men dictating what their wives or girlfriends wear. However, in this instance, OP, you are not the idiot. It's your wife who's controlling and manipulative. I'm sorry you're going through this. It sounds like she needs to talk to someone professional about her feelings. However, it also sounds like something like this has happened before, and the silent abuse treatment worked. Don't let her gaslight you this time. The irony. Hannah's actually full of herself and fake. Your wife knows what she's doing in wearing a white dress to someone else's wedding. She wants to hurt your friend's wife and have the attention on herself. You saved your friends from a disaster waiting to happen. Thank you for standing up for your friend, Tom, dude. I would normally say you need to side with your spouse, but you chose the bigger picture and saved a couple's special day from unnecessary drama and resentment. Your wife had no right to wear a white dress to someone else's wedding, and she knows that, but was expecting you to be a pushover. The levels your wife went through just to wear a white dress to someone else's wedding, for no reason, as we know, is honestly so concerning. This feels like a deep-rooted issue. She ruins Lauren's engagement party by calling her controlling for picking out her new husband's clothes. Why does it matter to your wife? I think you need to look at your relationship because she may have a crush on the new husband. I, 48 female, and my daughter Meg, nearly adult, are very different. I love to travel and am very extroverted, while Meg is very introverted and likes to play video games. Recently, she's been saving up money from work and getting ready for her graduation. A month ago, I told her that I wanted to go to the Bahamas with her when she graduated, and she didn't say no. But recently, she told me that she didn't want to go to the Bahamas and would rather go to Universal Studios with her girlfriend. I got upset and asked her why on earth she'd want to go to Universal, which is something we could do whenever we have the money, and not the Bahamas, which is a once-in-a-lifetime experience and something that every teen girl would want to do, and was something that I've always wanted to do. She said, because you know I don't like to travel. You don't even want to celebrate my graduation. You just want to go so that you can have a stupid vacation. And even if I wanted to travel, you know I hate hot places. I was hurt because I tried so hard to make her happy and thought that the Bahamas would be nice since she loves ocean creatures, and it's something we both like, but apparently not. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You would make her pay for your dream vacation for her graduation? Ugh, so wrong. How entitled are you? Be happy that she's graduating and has a good friend to take a trip with. She wanted a mini-me for a daughter, not a real person. You are the idiot, OP. LOL at how you wrote "I've" in all caps and still missed how selfish and self-serving you're being. This entire post is about you, how you have a more fortunate personality than your daughter, and how you would love the Bahamas. You. Next, you'll be all annoyed because your daughter doesn't want a golden egg for Easter. Do you even know